Hi guys, it's Toni. Now, ever since I did my faux Mercury Glass pieces about a year ago, you guys have been asking me, can I do that in a different color other than silver? Well, the answer is yes. So I want to refresh your memory and show you how to do the silver glass pieces. I want to show you how to do a gold version or whatever color you like. You can get real artsy with it. So let's get to work, and you can start creating your own pieces in many different colors. Too pretty. Of course, the first thing you want to do is select the glass pieces that you like to create the effect on. I am gluing together a couple of glass pieces with Gorilla Glue epoxy to make a larger, more interesting piece. I like to use the Gorilla Glue because it's really the strongest for binding glass or anything. After your glass pieces are completely dry, you want to take them outside into a well-ventilated area. Then you're going to need this, the most important part of this project, the Krylon Looking Glass Silver Spray Paint. Now this is the only silver spray paint that I've found that will give you that shiny mirror glass finish. And it only seems to come in silver, so that's why I'm going to show you how to do different colors. But first let's start with the silver version. You're also going to need something to do a little blotting. I'm using this very porous sponge. You're going to need a spray bottle with a mixture of vinegar and water. I like to use 1 part water, 2 parts vinegar. Okay, let's do the basic silver one on this piece. Make sure you shake the can up really well for about a minute. Now you can do this effect on the outside of the glass, but I like to do my effect on the inside of the glass, and I'll show you the difference in a second. I just get a better looking result when I do the inside, and I'm using this as a candle holder, so I don't have to worry about the effect being disturbed by water. But first what you want to do is spray a nice even coat inside, and you're going to get a puddle of spray paint, which I like to swish around and kind of coat the inside of the glass sort of evenly. Then you want to take your bottle of vinegar and water mixture and just very lightly spritz inside. Do really quick spritzes all around, and the silver spray paint will start to bubble up and make this sort of cool effect. So now sometimes I get silver on the outside of the glass. I just use my sponge to wipe that up because I don't want the drip marks on the outside. So I'm going to turn that over and let the excess sort of fall out while I do the other side. I'm going to do the same process, spray a little coating of the silver, swish it around, and then spritz it with the vinegar and water mixture. And then I'm going to turn that down and let it dry. So as you can see, the reason I like to do the effect on the inside is because you get the really brilliant, shiny silver look from looking at the silver through the glass. If you like a more opaque silver look, you can let that dry a little bit and repeat the process. I'm also going to spray a little on the outside around the stem to make that a little silver, and then I'm going to spritz it a little bit and then blot it with the sponge. Now to help create my different colored effects, I found this Krylon stained glass spray paint, and it came in a few different colors. I picked up blue, green, yellow, red, and orange. To color your glass, you want to stay at least 6 inches away from the piece and spray a nice light even coat all the way around it. I'm going to color all my glass pieces first so I can show you what this looks like, and then I'll add the Mercury Glass effect to it. You can even spray on different colors and put tape on and make different patterns and make your own special design. But be careful when you spray too much in one area, it gets opaque and it starts to drip, which could also be kind of nice. Since the stained glass paint doesn't come in gold, I'm going to show you how I create a golden color. First I start with a blue, and I do a light coat of blue all the way around the piece. Then I spray 2 light coats of orange all the way around. When you mix red and yellow together, which is orange plus blue, that gives you the color brown. And since gold is kind of a lighter version of brown, I'm hoping to get a nice transparent golden color. And I think I got it. So when it dries, this is what it looks like. As you can see, I sprayed a little too much in this area and start to clump up, but it'll be okay with the Mercury Glass effect that I'm using. Otherwise, it leaves a really beautiful, shiny, transparent finish, and it looks just like stained glass. I'm really excited about this paint because it just has a beautiful, even finish. And look at my gold. It came out great. Now I'm going to let these dry completely and then come back and give it the Mercury Glass effect. Now remember this piece, this is the first piece I did. It's all dry now. I gave it that silver Mercury Glass effect. Now I'm going to change it from silver to gold by painting it with the stained glass on the outside of the glass. I'm using the blue first and then the orange and creating a very light golden tone. And since the stained glass spray paint leaves a light transparent finish, it's still going to have the shiny metallic look that I want. Now let's give our colored glass pieces that Mercury Glass effect. Now for these, like I did the first one, you can paint the inside first and then paint the color afterwards. But if you do paint the color on the outside first, make sure it's completely dry before you handle it and do the silver on the inside. But the exact same process, spray the inside, swish it around, then spritz it with the vinegar and water mixture. And do the other end. And again, I like to spray the outside around the stems with a little bit of silver, and then I spritz it and blot it. And the colored glass with the silver on the inside gives it a really nice iridescent look. Now this gold vase will look really beautiful with silver on the inside, but since I'm going to use this for flowers, I want to paint the silver on the outside. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to spray the outside with a very light coat of silver, and then I'm going to just blot it with the sponge. I'm not going to spray it with the vinegar and water mixture because it may wash away all the gold paint that I painted on the outside. So I'm just lightly blotting. And this is the look I'll be getting. Not as shiny as I like, but it's silvery and gold, and it's still very pretty. So I'm going to do that a little at a time around each side. Now let me show you the difference in the effects of painting the silver on the inside of the glass and the silver on the outside. This piece right here, I painted the transparent color on the outside and the silver on the inside of the piece. And as you can see, it's shinier, it's more iridescent, and a little more dramatic. This is the same piece, but I painted the stained glass color and the silver on the outside. It's still beautiful, but it's not really shiny, and it gives you more of a rustic look. Instead of spray painting your glass to change the color, here's another technique you can try. I'm mixing a gloss Mod Podge with a tiny bit of gold metallic paint. And I'm brushing that on the outside of my glass with even strokes. When that dries, you get a nice transparent golden color. Then I'm going to take this outside and spray it lightly with the silver looking glass spray, and then blot it with the sponge. So now you have a few different ways to create your Mercury glass. You can add a little bling to your pieces and fill your house with all kinds of elegance. Now remember, these pieces are for decorative use only. You can't eat or drink from them, and you can't put them in the dishwasher. And when you're using candles, you want to use a candle that is already inside its own glass so that the wax will not melt into your piece. And this is why everyone is so crazy about Mercury glass. When it's lit at night, you get this beautiful, dramatic, eclectic look that just says, wow. Check back soon for the new $5 downloads. You'll be able to download a printable step-by-step guide for each craft project. Add me on Snapchat at Your Hustle Home and Instagram at Your Hustle Home TV for daily home, food, and gardening tips.